Earlier this week, Middlesex's elite player group were joined by military veteran Duncan Slater from registered charities Walking with the Wounded and Litter Force for something just a little bit different. After spending the morning clearing the Finchley streets of litter, the squad were joined back at the academy by Duncan, who spent over an hour talking them through the challenges he's faced and overcome in his life since losing both limbs to an IED explosion in Afghanistan. Having ridden 1,000 miles from Land's End to John O'Groats, skied over 200 miles to the South Pole, and run over 150 miles in the world's toughest marathon, Duncan's life experiences certainly offered plenty to inspire the Middlesex youngsters.
And I think the best thing about doing the South Pole was that if you looked at every single person on paper, right, the British team were all amputees, not just leg, but arm amputees. There was a woman on it, Kate, who was a leg amputee. American team, there was a guy called Ivan who was blind, all right, which if you're going to ski the South Pole, you know, watching someone do it completely blind is just phenomenal to see. The temperatures out in Antarctica were anything sort of from, I think the warmest it got was -30, the coldest it got was -48, and we've got 200 miles to ski. There was no help, it was all self-sufficient. Each team carries or pulls their provisions in a sledge, so it's all about team. There were 7 people in a team, 4 injured veterans. We were lucky, we had Prince Harry on our team. We've got a guide, like a proper polar guide, and then we had like a team mentor, if you like, so 7 people. But the thing about being out there is it's easy to make it sound like it's really hard, but when you're out there doing it, it was hard, okay? It was like one of the hardest things I've ever done, because everything's against you. Pulling your body weight in a sledge for 9 hours a day is hard work. You know, doing it in -40 is hard. Doing it without legs, yeah, that is quite hard. But you're part of the team. You can't get there in 200 miles time, okay, with 3 guys out of your team. You've got to get that team from there to there as a team, and it's as simple as that. When we got there, I had like 2 minutes, if you like, to myself, and I said, do you know what? I'm never ever now going to think back to like the sort of bad times. I managed to ski here from being in a bed for 5 months with people telling me I'm never going to walk, right? It's never going to happen. You're never going to, it's not going to happen for you. You're going to be disabled for the rest of your life in a wheelchair. And I thought, you know what? I need to draw a line under that now. All the naysayers can keep it. You know, they can watch this documentary and they can keep it. I thought any day that I'm having a bad time, I'm just going to draw on this one, and I'm going to think, actually, Dunk, give yourself an easy time of it. You managed to pull this out of the bag.
You've just spent the last hour listening to Duncan Slater. How inspiring did you find that?
It was very inspiring, just to listen to his story and sort of how he's overcome so many things, and not a regular guy in terms of he's been with the military and stuff, but the way he's sort of come away from sort of the moment that changed his life, just to take it into our lives. I definitely took something from it. How can I relate to my cricket? How can I sort of use his inspiration to bring my game forward, and in my hard times sort of look and think, how did he do his sort of things which has benefited him, and definitely has, because he's achieved incredible things, I guess.
Josh, are there things that you, having listened to Duncan, are there things that you heard him say that you can relate to already, or is it more a case of you're going to take learnings from that and take it into your day-to-day remit?
No, I think you can, obviously on a completely different scale, but you can relate it to your day-to-day life, and just the challenges presented in what you're doing in your life, and how you can put them aside almost and just focus on, right, there's a challenge, but I'm going to get past it, that sort of thing, rather than there's a challenge, I might not get past it, that kind of attitude, and just not kind of accepting failure was one thing he spoke highly of. Just keep on going, and kind of if you get put down, you just get straight back up. There's no stopping.
Duncan, you've just spent the last hour talking to the lads on the academy about your life experiences. It must be emotional for you, emotional for them. What are the parallels, do you think, between what you've perhaps been through and what these boys face?
I think a lot of pressures are the same. They want to achieve, don't they, at a high level, and I think there is a crossover there with the military, that you are trying to achieve at a high level at all times, because that ensures success. And I think for these guys, it can be quite a similar thing. there's a lot of people trying to get into the spot they're in, but it's only by them being sort of the best that they can be that could ensure a bit of success, really. So I think there is a crossover for sure.
Thank you, Duncan. And as for you, you've talked to us about Land's End on the Groats. You've gone to the South Pole. You've done the world's toughest marathon. What's next for yourself?
I think trying to get my daughter through the teenage years. I think that's the next challenge. But I try to give myself something most years, and the charity's coming up to their 10-year anniversary next year. So I want to either do a big kayak trip across the North Sea, or I want to, which is a pipe dream at the minute, I want to do a race called the Badwater 135, which is in Death Valley, which is quite a big one. But I'm trying to get on that, but it's seeming like impossible at the minute. But we're not going to let that stop me at the minute. But that's what I'm aiming to do. I've got a couple of things in the pipeline it's just a constant challenge, because I find personally that I get lazy. If I don't have something, I get lazy, and I just have to have something to bring me out of it, really.
Sounds like exciting times ahead, Duncan. All the best of luck with those and with the charity, and thanks for joining us up here today.
Cheers, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure. The guys are just awesome, they're brilliant blokes, but thanks.